Hey, what is happening, guys? Thank you for tuning into Rules for Rebels. Today we're going to be talking about Amazon merch. Got an email from a viewer that I thought was kind of a great question. Basically, I'm on tier 10. My shirts aren't selling. What am I doing wrong? How do I get out of tier 10? How do I market these shirts better, etc.? So in just a second here, I'm going to be reading you the email. I'm also going to be sharing with you guys 8 tips for how to get out of tier 10 quickly. Some of these are things I've touched on before, and other ones are ones that you guys may have missed. I think a few of these strategies are things I may not have mentioned in videos before. But I just kind of really want, a lot of the stuff that I talk about I mention in passing on various videos, so I just wanted to make one video kind of dedicated to those tier 10, tier 25 sellers who are struggling to get more listings. And at the end of the day, like we all know, Amazon merch is a numbers game. I talked to Glenn and Yong from Merch Minds, Glenn of Hustler Hacks, Yong of Geek Hustle, and they have the podcast Merch Minds. I talk to them from time to time, and I remember a while back I was talking to Glenn, and I think at one time he had over 8,000 designs or listings on Amazon. And I think I asked him, out of those 8,000, how many of them actually sell and how many are doing 50 or more shirts? And he said the vast majority of his sales come from a handful of shirts. And then he said even all of his sales, out of 8,000 shirts listed, maybe only 100 or 150 designs will sell each month. So what we see here is Amazon merch is a numbers game. When you only have 10 designs up, you're only able to hit, even if you do one shirt for each niche, you're only able to try out a few different niches. And let's say one of your shirts is about soccer. Maybe soccer is a good niche, but if you only have one design and it's a design that people aren't really digging, you're not going to get sales. So one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give to tier 10 merch sellers is when you come at this from the angle of not trying to make money. I get it. When I first got on merch, I'm like, okay, the Amazon merch money machine is rolling. Let's start making some money. And that's the wrong attitude to go into this with. And if you go into this with the attitude of I want to start making money day one, it's going to take you a lot longer to make money than if you go into this saying, okay, I'm going to build up my account. I'm going to get my listings up. I'm going to tier up, and the money will come later. That's the attitude that you want to go into Amazon merch with. So again, I'm going to read this email. We'll go over these strategies. We'll take a look at some shirts. And then I was going to kind of critique some shirts and critique some keywords and titles and tags and things like that. I think we're going to save that for another video just to kind of keep this shorter and to keep it not as overwhelming. By the way, here in Chicago, I think we got 10 or 12 inches of snow today. I tried to go to Dunkin' Donuts to get my morning coffee this morning. Couldn't even make it out of the driveway. So yeah, I'm gonna knock out this video, go do some shoveling, and then see if I can actually make it into the office today. So anyhow, here's the email. This email is from Daniel. Danny boy. Let's see here. Hi Johnny, nice to meet you. I'm a longtime subscriber to your YouTube channel. I have my first 10 designs up and have all my descriptions optimized. At least I hope I do, LOL. But I'm not seeing any sales. I'm starting to promote my designs via word of mouth, but I was hoping to earn some organic search traffic from Amazon as well. Am I dreaming here? If not, how long did it take for you to see any results? So here in the back end dashboard here, you can see I got my first Amazon sales May of 2016. So one thing to keep in mind, people who got on in 2015 had a big advantage over people who got on in 2016, and people like myself who got in 2016 have a big advantage over people who got in at 2017 or 2018. Amazon merch has grown. It's become a really widely known program. People are clawing at the doors to get in, right? Because I saw it mentioned online the other day. Somebody said Amazon merch is the easiest internet money you can get right now. And to some extent, I have to agree with that. Not that Amazon merch doesn't have its own challenges, not that it's easy, but if we look at other things like e-commerce, you have to set up your own payment processors, you have to set up your own website, you have to find suppliers, you have to output money. Drop shipping, you have to do all those things with the exception of outlaying your own money, but you still got to get payment processors set up, you still got to get a website set up. Affiliate marketing, I love affiliate marketing, but it's more of a long-term play. Starting a YouTube channel, again, love it, more of a long-term play. Selling on eBay, you need to buy stuff. So Amazon merch, obviously there's a waiting list to get on, but once you're on, a couple minutes to design a shirt, put it up on Amazon, a few hours to get approved, and it's off to the races. Your shirts are on Amazon for everybody browsing Amazon to see, and that's one of the things that's so popular about Amazon, or so powerful about Amazon merch, is all that organic traffic. So if I have a yoga shirt on Amazon, if somebody's searching for yoga socks, there's a chance that my shirt is going to pop up for them. So in terms of like how long it took for me to get started, I'm going to throw myself over here onto the left side of the screen. I think I actually got on in March or April. So I think it took me about 2 months to get my first sale. And keep in mind, some of you guys might be like, oh, I didn't have any sales my first month. You got 24 bucks your first month, 50 bucks your second month. I think that was kind of beginner's luck. Another challenge I faced when I first got on merch is I really didn't have a clue about how to design t-shirts, right? Like I didn't know how to use design programs. Even though I could have used something like Canva, I didn't even know how to like correctly size a shirt for like 4,500 by 5,400. So for probably my first 6 months on the program, I was having to pay Fiverr designers or, designers I found elsewhere for pretty much all my designs. Well, I do think sometimes it's cool to get other people's spin on designs or hire people. At the end of the day, I don't really think it's sustainable for an Amazon merch seller to be paying for all their designs. And the reason for that is because Amazon merch is a numbers game, right? Like even if I'm paying $5 per design, I get 10 designs, that cost me $50. And maybe not a single one of those 10 shirts will sell. And now that's $50 down the drain. I got to go pay. Maybe now it is, okay, I need a better quality designer. I'm going to pay $10 per design. Well, now I get another 10 shirts. 10 shirts times $10 is $100. So now I'm going to do it for $150. And I only have 15 shirts. And maybe one of those 15 shirts will sell. Maybe they won't. So I definitely think you should start kind of learning how to do designs, even if it's just basic text designs, even if it's taking like some free click art or free click art or some free vector images and kind of changing the colors, tweaking them a little bit and putting them up there. I do think you're going to need to get some of your own shirts up there. And I don't have a lot of graphic design skills myself. So if you're like, well, I'm not really a designer. Well, neither am I. It's really amazing. You don't have to have incredibly detailed designs to sell. Sometimes like plain one word, plain text font on a shirt will sell. So the priority here is to get a lot of shirts up. I would go for quantity over quality. But yeah, I mean, first month I sold $24 worth of shirts. At the time I was making $7 something a shirt. So I'm guessing that's maybe 3 or 4 shirt sales. My second, or I guess technically that was my first month of getting sales. It was probably actually my 3rd month on the platform. So my 4th month on the platform, I probably sold, 5 to 8 shirts, made 50 bucks. But then you see it went down to $13. The next month I made $0. The next month I made $12, which was like 2 shirt sales. The next month I made $6, which was probably 1 sale. Next month I made nothing. December always tends to be a hot month, so I made $100, but back to 12, 30, $1. So I mean, you can see like my first year on the platform was pretty pathetic, and it was hard going. And I wish I had known a lot of these strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you guys when I went in. But you can kind of see how quickly things started to grow. 139. Step back to 58, 184, 128, 400, 300, 700. So things have really started to grow. But getting into like what you new 10 tier sellers want to do. So again, I've touched on this, but first off, starting off, your goal should not be to make money. Now, let me quickly show some of Daniel's shirts before we get started here. So he has, he's kind of in the Christian niche. Inspirational Seek Jesus, Not Church shirt. I actually think that's a pretty good design. He's selling it for $19.97. So just one quick thing to point out, and I'm not going to go too in-depth on his shirts here. I'll actually do that in a follow-up video. I will link to his shirts. If you guys want to help out a fellow merch seller, if you guys want to help out a fellow rebel, so somebody, a loyal kind of viewer of the channel, somebody you guys may have connected with in the comment section before, I will link to his shirts if anyone likes his shirts and would like to buy one, help him out and get one. Here's another one, Jesus Saves. Again, $19.97. So I think he's priced a little bit too high here. I would be priced, more at like $16. He'd be making $2 and some change. I personally would probably go down to like $14 to the point where I'm making maybe 20 cents. Because again, the goal is not to make money here. The goal is to sell shirts and get out of 10 shirts so that you can get more shirts listed. And once you get up to tier 50 or tier 100, that's when our focus is going to start changing towards making money. But early on, we just want to get sales and get out of here. Here's another one, Find Christ All Alone. Again, $19.97, probably priced a little bit too high. Our Find Jesus Christ, Jesus on the Cross, All Alone t-shirt is a perfect gift idea for Christian believers. I think he's actually doing a pretty good job with keywords and things like that. And one interesting thing about keywords, I'll get into this in a little bit, but one strategy that I had suggested is kind of find a find one of the shirts that are ranking number 1 organically. So these are our sponsored results, right? These 3 here. Blessed, Faith, Fear. Okay, so sometimes what I'll do is find like the number 1 organic ranked shirt. And this one might be ranked because of all the positive reviews. So I may go for one that doesn't have a lot of reviews. I don't know, maybe we'll go for this one. And sometimes I'll literally copy and paste their title tag and descriptions. I won't leave it copied, but just for some guidance, I might copy over their title, copy over their bullet points, and also copy over description. So this one, Christian t-shirt for men, Christian t-shirt for women, So this is kind of keyword stuffing. I probably wouldn't copy this one, but sometimes what I'll do is copy and paste their bullet point, and then I might rewrite it. So I might put wonderful Christian t-shirt for men, women, and children. Kids love our religious Christian t-shirt. You don't just want to stack keywords. Technically, that's against policy, and it doesn't really read very well. But a lot of times I'll find a shirt that's ranking really well. I try to avoid ones, again, with a lot of reviews, because reviews might be the reason that they're up towards the top as opposed to their keywords. So I'll focus on one with not a ton of reviews, but that's one strategy. Let's see, let's go over and look at one of his t-shirts. So yeah, again, early on, your goal should be to sell as many t-shirts as possible to get out of tier 10 and tier 25. This means pricing your t-shirts very low. It doesn't matter if you're making 20 cents per shirt. Our goal is not to make money, but to sell shirts and get more listings. If you choose to run ads, don't expect to turn a profit. Again, all we're trying to do here is tier up. Again, I talked about how Amazon merch is a numbers game. Glenn had over 8,000 designs, and maybe 100, 150 of them would sell. So out of your 10 designs, you don't really have a lot to work with there. So we're really going to need to price our shirts low and really kind of market them. So here I have 8, count them up, 8 strategies for helping new merch sellers get out of tier 10. Strategy number 1 is run paid ads. What you're going to be doing here is running paid ads at a loss. Again, we don't care if it's converting well. We don't care if they're making money. Our goal is not to make money. Our goal is just to get shirt sales and get out of tier 10. So I didn't run any ads early on, but maybe 6 months, a year into the program, I started running some Facebook ads. I'm not great at running Facebook ads. My goal wasn't to seek conversions, right? I was pricing my cost per click or my cost per impression very, very low, because maybe I really wanted, if I were Dan, maybe I really want to hit the Christian crowd. Well, I could target them on Facebook and maybe pay 25 cents, 28 cents, 50 cents for a click. But Facebook, in my experience, doesn't convert that well. We're really not going to make very much money, paying for ads and, trying to turn a $5 profit per shirt. It's just difficult to be efficient running paid ads on lower cost products. So my goal was to simply drive as much traffic to my listings as possible. I was trying to get like 2 to 3 clicks per penny and just target people, all over the place. I didn't really care who, but my goal was just to get traffic to my shirts and get shirt sales. If I have to pay $10 to make one shirt sale that makes me 20 cents, I'm fine with that, because my goal is to just kind of get out of tier 10 here. So run paid ads at a loss. That's one of my strategies for starting out. Number 2, order your own shirts. Now, personally, I didn't order any of my own shirts for probably the first year and a half. I kind of wish I would have. And today, I actually buy a lot of my shirts. I buy a lot of shirts off Amazon, a lot of my own shirts off Amazon merch. For sleep shirts for my girlfriend. I order shirts for friends and family. Sometimes I'll give them to people as gifts. And by buying when you first list a new shirt, it has no BSR score, right? Your shirt has no BSR. So you need to get a sale in order to get a BSR. So by ordering your own shirt, you give yourself a BSR score right off the bat. In addition to doing that, you also, it tends to give your shirt a bump in search ranking as well. I tend to find that if I put up a new shirt on Amazon merch, within the first couple days, I order one of them for myself, or I order one for a friend or family member, I tend to find that a couple organic sales will follow that. So ordering your own shirts, definitely not a bad strategy. Also, I can't tell you guys how many times I've been wearing one of my own shirts in public, and people will be like, "That's a really cool shirt." I'm like, "Oh, thank you. It's mine. I designed it." One of my ones that I get the most comments or compliments on is my Kush 420 Bud Company shirt. Obviously, Amazon merch does not allow, marijuana shirts. They've kind of cracked down on the policies. But early on, they did allow that kind of stuff. It was one of my best-selling shirts, and that's one that I get a lot of compliments on. And oddly enough, a lot of the compliments I get are from like 60-year-old cashiers at like Walgreens and things like that. So you never know who's going to like your shirts, but you're your own billboard, advertise them. Number three, I would exercise using this method with caution, but drop shipping your own Amazon merch shirts to other platforms can be a very effective way to kind of get shirts and kind of boost your listings. Now, this is sort of a gray area, so again, proceed with caution. When you order an Amazon merch shirt, if you have Amazon Prime, it's eligible for Amazon Prime 2-day shipping, right? Now, it's going to take them a few days to make the shirt, but once that shirt's actually ready to ship, it's going to ship UPS 2-day shipping. There is an option for slower shipping. Now, you may say, well, if it's the same cost, why would I want my shirt to show up a week later? Well, technically speaking, it's against Amazon policy to use your Amazon Prime account to like drop ship or run a business or anything like that. However, if you opt for the slow shipping, it's going to be about probably 5 to 7 days slower shipping than Prime. But in my opinion, at that point, you're within Amazon's terms of service. And even if you are using Prime, I really shouldn't recommend like breaking Amazon policies. To be perfectly honest with you, unless you're doing huge volume, Amazon's probably not going to pop off your account anyway. But nonetheless, I would suggest doing free shipping and not Prime. So the strategy here, list your whatever designs you're selling on Amazon merch, list them on Etsy, list them on eBay. If there's any other platforms that you sell on, list them on those platforms. If a shirt sale comes through for Etsy or eBay, you'll go to Amazon, order your own shirt, put that person's details in, and have Amazon drop ship the shirt to them. Now, if my shirts are costing me, say, I don't know, what's the base price on Amazon merch? For I think a basic tee, it's what we'll say, I don't know, $13 or something. I'm probably wrong, but we'll say it's about $13. I may go list my shirt on Etsy for $13 or $14. I really don't care if I'm profiting from drop shipping this t-shirt. Again, my only goal here is to bring sales to my Amazon merch shirts. So even if I'm breaking even with all my Etsy sales, this shirt is getting sale after sale after sale, and it's increasing the BSR score. So that shirt is going to sell more. It's going to sell more shirts on Amazon as well. So again, my goal with this whole drop shipping thing isn't to turn a profit. It's to bring sales to my listing, which is going to help my listing sell organically better on Amazon and drive more sales to me. So that's kind of we'll call it gray hat, with like SEO and web design stuff. We have black hat, white hat, and gray hat. This would be more of a gray hat strategy. In my opinion, as long as you're not using Prime and you're choosing the slow shipping, you are completely within Amazon policy. And again, even if this sort of falls outside of Amazon policy, on the small scale that you're going to be doing it, I don't think you're going to get any trouble. But I do want to throw out there that is kind of a gray area thing. So do that with, make your own decision there. So we got 1, 2, 3. My next strategy number 4. If you have any brand or following online, promote your shirts to them. If you have a YouTube channel, if you have a large Instagram following, if you have popular Pinterest boards, make shirts that go along with that niche and try to pitch them to your audience. Try to encourage your audience to help you out and order some shirts. Just an example of this, like I could come out with like a Rules for Rebels line, and I have a big audience of you guys who hopefully kind of like me and want to support me. And maybe if I roll out a Rules for Rebels line, maybe some of you guys will like the shirts and be like, I like the shirt. I like, Johnny, I like Rules for Rebels. I want to support him. I'll order a shirt. So if you have any type of existing following online, that's a huge area to promote your shirt. So that's number 4. Number 5, promote your shirts on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, niche forums. There's a forum called Intruder Alert, old school forum. It's about people who own Suzuki Intruder motorcycles. That's the kind of motorcycle that I have. And it's like people talk about different accessories you can put on the bikes. Like this forum is all about Suzuki Intruders. So if I made a t-shirt about Suzuki Intruders, people on that forum may buy it. Now, if you go to a forum, actually be a participant in a forum. Don't just join forums and as a newbie, like, hey, buy my shirt, hey, buy my shirt, hey, buy my shirt. People are going to look at you like a spammer. But if you're actually an active part of a community, a lot of times people will be willing to help you out. So that's strategy number 5. Promote shirts on social media, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, niche forums, etc. Strategy number 6, local face-to-face promotion. Wear your t-shirts, offer to make t-shirts for a local bar, a local restaurant. If you're willing to do it at cost, which is probably like $12, maybe there's a local bar where you're kind of a regular, they know you, you're friends with the owner or the manager. Hey, you know what? I'm selling t-shirts. I could make you a cool t-shirt if you were interested in ordering them for the employees. I could do it pretty cheap. If if you're interested, let me know. If someone wants to order t-shirts for their 10 employees, you got 10 sales right there and you're out of tier 10. I don't see this strategy as being like something you should pour a ton of time into. And I wouldn't necessarily suggest just going around to random local businesses. But I mean, if your kid is in Cub Scouts, maybe mention to the den leader, hey, if you guys want some Cub Scout shirts, I can make you some Cub Scout shirts. Now, you may or may not be able to use a Cub Scout logo, but you get the point. If you're part of like a Bitcoin meetup, like, hey, if everyone in this Bitcoin meetup wants to get shirts made, I could have them made for us. Just little things like that. So I think that was strategy 6. Strategy 7, don't let your shirts sit and get stale. If a shirt sits for 3 to 4 weeks and doesn't sell, move on. At higher tiers, you can let shirts sit for 90 days, and after 90 days of no sales, they'll be automatically removed. But when you're a new seller, you only have 10 pieces of real estate to work with, right? You only have 10 listings. And so like in the case of Dan here, Dan has 10 Christian shirts. Well, I actually think Christian shirts probably will sell well, but let's say, well, maybe just nobody on Amazon is buying Christian shirts. If Dan has all 10 of his shirts as Christian shirts and people aren't buying Christian shirts, he's not going to make any sales. So what Dan might want to do, okay, I'll do 2 Christian shirts, I'll do 2 Buddhist shirts, I'll do 2 shirts about baseball, I'll do 2 shirts about football, and I'll do 2 like shirts about some kind of trending like pop culture type topic. Well, this way he gets, kind of gets his hand into a bunch of different niches and can kind of explore what sells and what doesn't sell. Well, if these shirts sit up on Amazon merch for 3 weeks, 4 weeks with no sales, if they're not going to get sales after a month, they're probably not going to get sales after a second month. So I would suggest just get that shirt off of Amazon and either hit it with a new design in the same niche or try out an entirely different niche. But don't let your shirts just sit there and get stale. If they haven't sold after 30 days, I do have shirts that sell 60 days in or even 90 days in right before they're delisted. But for the most part, if a shirt's going to sell, it's going to get a sale earlier on. So don't let when you're limited on your shirts, don't let something sit up there for weeks at a time not selling. Get it off there, get something else on there and see if it sells better. So that's strategy number 7. And then lastly, strategy number 8. I'm not positive if this still works or not. This is kind of a workaround. Kind of like an Amazon hack, for lack of a better word. But basically, actually, let me show you guys something here. So we're going to type in Christian shirts, right? Now, when we type in Christian shirts, are you kidding me? It didn't do what I wanted it to do there. We'll say Bitcoin shirt. Okay, so when I type in Bitcoin shirt, here's the listings we get, right? And you see right here it says sponsored, sponsored, and sponsored. What this means is these are not organic search results. It's just like when you search something on Google and you get those Google AdWords sponsored results at the top. These are sponsored shirts. These people are paying to have their shirts up there. Now, a lot of you guys are like, well, I know for like regular e-commerce you can run sponsored ads and things like that, but I didn't think you could do that with merch. You can do it with merch. There's kind of a workaround. You're going to need an Amazon AMS account, an Amazon Marketing Services account, and you're going to need an Amazon Vendor Express account. The Vendor Express is what's going to allow you to use the AMS account to promote your own merch shirts. One little trick to that, I'll make a video dedicated to exactly how to do this, but if any of you guys kind of know what I'm talking about, if you try to use the, let me move this up here. If you try to use the, or actually, I'm sorry, that's not even what I wanted to do. If we go down here to the ASIN, you can't use this ASIN on Amazon Marketing Services because it's kind of a parent ASIN. For some reason, it won't accept it. So what you need to do if you actually want to market your shirts, and again, if anybody's clueless, I'm going to make a follow-up video on this, but we'll need to select a shirt color, we'll need to select a shirt size, and when you do that, the ASIN number is actually going to, either the ASIN number and or the link are going to change every time we change a shirt color or a shirt size. And that's kind of like a child link or a child ASIN. And that's what you're going to need to use. But Amazon Marketing Services can be, can really help you out. Again, if I'm searching for shirts, oftentimes the first shirt that pops up may catch my attention and I may buy it. So this is really really powerful. Another thing we can do, if I click on this shirt, normally down here, customers who viewed this also viewed, and then we also have sponsored products. So you can also pay to show up as a sponsored product. And by doing this Amazon Vendor Express and AMS service thing, you're able to run either sponsored products within listings, or you're actually able to be sponsored in shirts or in search as well. And this can actually be very, very powerful. Again, this strategy worked a few months back, even a few years back. I don't know if Amazon has kind of caught on to it and stopped people from doing this. Really, that's not the intended purpose of AMS and Vendor Express. But this is kind of a workaround that can allow you to advertise your Amazon merch shirts on Amazon. So that's kind of all I got for you guys. I know this video is kind of turned into a long one, but I hope it helps out you new tier 10 sellers, or even those of you guys who've been selling on merch for a while and just can't seem to get out of tier 10, can't seem to get out of tier 25. So just to recap these strategies for you real quick: run paid ads at a loss, number 1. Number 2, order your own shirts. It gives them a boost in BSR score and search. Number 3, do this with caution, but you can drop ship your Amazon merch shirts to Etsy and eBay. Number 4, if you have a brand or following online, promote your shirts to them. Number 5, promote on social media, Instagram, Pinterest, and niche forums. Number 6, face-to-face promotions. Talk to bar owners, talk to the clubs you're a member of, tell your friends about your shirts. Number 7, don't let shirts sit and get stale. Swap out the niches, swap out the designs. And number 8, Amazon PPC advertising via the workaround with Amazon Merchant Services and Amazon Vendor Express. So I know we didn't dig too into depth on Dan's shirts here. I will link to his shirts in the description box below if any of you guys would like to help him out and order a shirt. I will be making a follow-up video maybe where we'll actually take a look at the designs. We'll take a look at the titles, tags, and the descriptions. And maybe I'll comment on them and try to share a little bit of advice or suggestions. And if you guys in the comment section want to do that as well, we can do that as well. So I will make that video in the coming days here. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If so, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please smash that subscribe button below. I will catch you guys on the next video, and I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend.